And I'm gonna prove everybody that there's levels to this. And I'm not playing when I'm saying I'm gonna break his mouth. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And my only objective is going in there and inflict as much damage as possible on David Morrell. I'm going for the knockout.
It's getting personal now?
It's been personal.
Ahead of their much-anticipated light heavyweight bout, which is set for February 1st, 2025 at the T-Mobile Stadium in Las Vegas, tensions between David Benavidez and David Morrell have sharply increased. During a recent press conference, the two fighters' hostility was evident.
Morrell, when he says...
Let me, I want to...
You don't have power for this.
You don't have...
I don't have power for this.
I don't have power? No, I don't have power?
Not for this.
I'm going to show you.
They broke my mouth?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to break your fucking mouth. I'm going to break your talking all that
mouth.
Talking all that when you have a jaw brace on,
you don't have
that's
power.
Gonna be, that's
man,
my gift to you.
You boys,
that's
you
my
know
gift to
more
you.
better, man. Like, shut the up, bitch. What the fuck do you mean?
What are you saying?
What are you saying? Man, you're a stupid.
I'll beat the f out of you.
No, man, okay, whatever you do. Okay, baby, whatever you do. Whatever you do.
Alright, and then I want you to come ready because I'll beat the I want you guys to give me, I want you guys to give me the props I deserve. Alright,
whatever you do.
We'll see.
Whatever you do.
Morrell resisted Benavidez's attempt to shake hands, which resulted in a furious verbal altercation. The altercation escalated when David Benavidez shoved Morrell, who then threw his WBA regular title belt at Benz's head security in retaliation. Employees acted swiftly to stop the situation from getting worse.
First of all, I came, I tried to shake his hand, you know what I mean? I try to be cool. Because last press conference, you know, we did this talking, but then in the middle, after, we know he was cordial, we were shaking hands and stuff, so. No, I was just expecting the same thing. This is my birthday today, so I didn't really want to get too aggressive.
Yeah, gotta go get some cake later.
Keep it down, no cake. But, I tried to shake his hand, kept running his fucking mouth. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect me like that. You know, especially, I don't know who this guy thinks he is. He thinks he's the hardest person in the planet, so I'm gonna beat the fuck. And there's nothing else really left to say. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter, yes, but I'm gonna make all these great fighters look average.
Both fighters have stated their goal to win the forthcoming fight. With an undefeated record of 290 and 24 knockouts, David Benavidez has been outspoken about his desire to cause Morrell serious harm, saying, "I'm going to hurt David Morrell as much as possible." Morrell, who is also undefeated with an 11-0 record and 9 knockouts, is confident in his ability to ignore Benavidez's threats and assert his own plans for victory.
Get a fighter. You know it's gonna be hard, but now that all this is happening, how you feel different about him?
That's more fuel. That's more fuel to the flame to go in there and do what I gotta do. Now, I'm really gonna go in there. I'm gonna put a beating on him.
Okay, so we're waiting, guys, in case you are watching the stream. We're waiting for David Morrell to come back here and try to do this in a pacific way.
David Benavidez and David Morrell's feud is more than just a boxing match. It's a conflict between their fighting techniques and aspirations for a championship. During a recent news conference, their rivalry took a fiery turn when Benavidez released a terrifying threat to Morrell, saying, "I'm going to kill you." Although exaggerated in the context of promoting a fight, this comment highlights the intensity of the hostility brewing between the two fighters who haven't lost.
A lot of bad blood with this buildup because of what's happened at the press conferences. Like, you as a bystander, what'd you make of what happened in Miami?
I wasn't there though. That's the thing.
Like Morrell threw the belt at him. David ducked.
I don't know why the belt. That's something you don't do. What if there would have been, someone said he was a kid or something? If you don't do that, and that's how you know he's not how he says he is. He walks around like he's from the fucking hood, like he's gangster. He's like, none of that. Why are you gonna throw a belt? Why not pass the belt down to the side and go handle it? If you're really mad, if you're really about that, I mean, it is what it is.
Did that type of response surprise you, from him?
Just made me seem like he's a.
Aiming to become the most dominant super middleweight and a possible contender to face boxing superstar Canelo Alvarez, Benavidez, also known as the Mexican Monster, has an impressive 29-0 record with 24 knockouts. He has been vocal about his distaste for Morrell, accusing him of disrespect and promising to make their fight a brutal affair. The press conference featured David Benavidez's fiery temperament with his aggressive remarks and a physical altercation that only added to the drama.
Benavidez, American from Arizona, from Phoenix, Arizona, debut 2013 through 2021. I think he is still fighting. His last fight most likely occurred in 2021. Oh wait, November 13, he's got an upcoming fight versus Jose Uzcatagu, Colombian. But his last one it was a TKO, took place March 13, 2021. 24, and we got another undefeated.
David Morrell is going to put up one hell of a fight. I just think David Benavidez is not what people think he is. I see a highly skilled fighter with good fluidity in his punches and his movement. The guy, to me, is one of the best fighters in the world. And I'm talking about skill-wise. Like, he got fast hands. He throws great flurries. He knows how to break you down systematically. His defense is far better than people give him credit. Him against Oleksandr Volcic, I was like, brother, this guy looks great, right? He just need more time at 175, which I think he got.
David Morrell and David Benavidez are going to fight.
Yeah.
Is that a fight that you're...
Oh, got it. Yeah. Well, the story with he and I was, I met him when he was a kid. And he told me, I'm going to be a world champion someday. And then I run into him and he's a world champion. You know, that's happened to me so many times, usually with MMA fighters, not boxers. But that's when I was sort of kicking the tires of boxing yes, I will watch that fight.
Conversely, David Morrell, the WBA regular champion, has established himself as a sleek, strong, and technically proficient boxer with a perfect record of 11 ZEED and N knockouts. Morrell is keen to demonstrate that, despite being the less seasoned fighter in terms of professional fights, he deserves to be at the top of the division. Throughout the news conference, Morrell has not displayed any symptoms of intimidation. He showed that he wasn't going to back down by refusing to grasp Mercedes's hand and by daringly throwing his championship belt at David Benavidez's head.
No secret for everybody that Benavidez were you know Robocop?
Hey, stop.
Here, that's it. Look, the Benavidez versus plan. It's 12 round. You know, this time is the really secret. I never fight plan before. I mean, I think so plan not have too much power for Benavidez. So you know, he's the big guy. He's as stronger too. So you have it like the good lefts. You training hard. You have power. You have everything. I mean, nothing for you.
Keep your head up.
I can dance. I have moved. You know, I can dance. Benavidez can dance.
The stakes for this battle are extremely high, and both fighters are committed to resolving their issues inside the ring and establishing themselves as the undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez's contender boxing fans are already enthralled with the February 1st, 2025 bout at the T-Mobile Stadium in Las Vegas, anticipating a battle between Morrell's skill and David Benavidez's fury.
I don't want to fight someone who doesn't mean something for my career, and the best out there now is David Morrell.
I see him coming up to 175. He's talking a lot of shit. So I'm gonna shut his ass up. And also, it would be a bigger pay-per-view if we wait later. His name is not that big, but I don't give a...
They just talk the way you want your fighters to talk. They're all about the smoke. They want to fight everybody. It seems like whoever would win the Morrell-Benavidez fight gets the shot. But at the end of the day, we got a guy who wants to fight a tough guy.
David Morrell is so good. David Morrell is a high-risk, low-reward fighter. You have to overpay people to step in the ring with him. If you don't overpay him, you won't get him in the ring. It's as simple as that, Jack. So, David Morrell going in 2024, one of the most exciting fighters, got an exciting style, has a fan base in Minnesota. That's the knock on the Cubans. No international distribution on the Cuban feed because they don't show the fights. Has a fan base in Minnesota. Now we need to see the fights. Vladimir Shishkin, Kristen and Billy. Any of those guys on the back end of the top 10, I want to see them in with him.
In addition to the personal grudge, this fight has implications for the future of the super middleweight division. If Benavidez prevails, His campaign for a big fight against Canelo will gain even more momentum. On the other hand, if Morrell wins, he will become a legitimate force in the division and become a superstar.
Huge demand for this fight, Dave Morrell and David Benavidez. For me, though, I never had a huge demand for it because I think it's a bit early for Morrell. And when you look at his last fight, Riyadh season, David Morrell didn't look that good. But a lot of people don't think David Benavidez looked that good against Bostic. I thought he looked great. I just thought he gassed out, but I thought he looked phenomenal. This fight, though, reminds me a bit of how they moved along Vargas. Remember when Vargas fought Trinidad? People wanted that fight until they saw it. He was a little too young and he was showing a lot of promise, but I think they moved him along too quickly. Don't be surprised if David Benavidez give him a boxing lesson. David Benavidez, I think he's going to show some movement, shoot the jab, be busy. I think Morrell has a puncher's chance. And I think it's a phenomenal puncher's chance because he's so athletically gifted.
Benavidez and David Morrell, right? This is the type of fights boxing needs. Two young fighters, great fighters in their division. They moved up to 175. They were at 168. The fight wasn't made there, but 175, David said, you know what, let's make this fight happen. The first few pictures, it looks like David has some weight to take off. He looks like the Tyson Fury of the 175, but that doesn't matter, right? It's all about your fighting technique, your fighting style. I think David Morrell has a great opportunity to showcase his skills, but I don't think it'll be enough to beat a David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez has a little bit too much power and too much combinations for David Morrell. David Morrell hasn't, fought anybody that is maybe top 2, top 3. David Benavidez has been in there with Caleb Plant, has been in there with some good fighters. So he is coming into the fight the favorite. But let me know what you guys think of that fight, all right? Let me know.
As fight night draws near, David Benavidez and Morrell's bad blood guarantees that this fight will be more than a skill match. Rather, it will be a struggle for pride supremacy and the right to claim oneself as the greatest in the division.
David El Monstro Benavidez.
First of all, I just want to thank God for everything. God handled it as possible. I also want to thank my wife, my son, my daughter, my father, Jose Benavidez, Samson Lukowitz, all PBC, Luis Sikowitz, all Hammond, and here we are again. I told you guys I was going to give you the best fights that you guys wanted to see, and we're here again. We got this guy. He's been talking about me for a while, for about 2 or 3 years. He disrespected me, disrespecting my dad, disrespecting my brother. So now he wanted to take it personal with me. So I'm personally going to break his fucking mouth. So he has something to remember me by.
I want to know who in these dudes' heads that they trying to fight in January. They ain't no main event, man. Don't nobody know David ass, man.
Shit.
David is not a main event.
They gotta
Combined,
learn.
them got 1 million followers. Combined, they ain't got 1 million followers, huh, Ness?
I don't know what they got. I know they gotta learn. Like my man did 175, then he did 62. Then they put you on the undercard. Like, bruh, like that, I mean, keep building. He should be pushing for this undercard right here to be on this tank undercard again.
So you want us to be back on the undercard, so you just hate.
I'm afraid that you're going to do a show in January and it's not going to be successful.
We ain't got time to be hot.
David Benavidez is not a main event fighter, man. That's to prove my fucking point, man.
It's more about...
Nah, he ain't about his dance partner, man.
It's more about Morrell. Nobody knows Morrell.
Boxing experts have predicted an exciting showdown in their predictions for the next bout. Although some forecast a more difficult fight, many experts think David Benavidez's greater power, aggressive attitude, and tactical approach will give him the advantage over his opponent. His opponent's quickness and technical prowess present a challenge, making the bout unpredictable and eagerly anticipated. Ahead of their impending bout, Eddie Hearn showed his admiration for both David Benavidez and David Morrell. He commended Benavidez for accepting the challenge of taking on Morrell, a fighter who has long been respected even if he didn't need the fight. Hearn recognized the significance of these bouts in boxing, pointing out how often it is to see elite boxers go on one another. When talking about the battle between Benv and Morrell, Fraser Clark showed a similar amount of enthusiasm and respect for both fighters. He called the contest fantastic, but he favored Benv as the favorite. Clark noted that he has been pleased by Mercedes over time and emphasized his physical attributes, quickness, and general skill. Benitez wants to establish himself as the undisputed top contender, removing any doubt about his ability and resolve to rule the division. He did this by defeating David Morrell, establishing his dominance in the super middleweight class with unrelenting aggression, precision, and power. The rivalry between David Benavidez and David Morrell reached a boiling point during a media workout in Miami on December 17, 2024, resulting in a physical altercation that has increased the anticipation for their upcoming light heavyweight title fight. David Benavidez highlighted his confidence prior to the fight, saying he has a proper game plan and is fully committed to following it. He believes his strategy will showcase his skills and secure a decisive victory, proving once again why he's a dominant force in the super middleweight division. Benavidez has also made note of his personal hostility toward Morrell, saying, "I don't like you. I dislike him." Their pre-fight exchanges have shown this hostility, including a furious altercation at a media workout in which Benavidez shoved Morrell, causing Morrell to toss his WBA interim belt at Benavidez. What do you think will happen in the upcoming fight? Will David Morrell pull off an upset, or will Benz's strength and planning bring him to victory? Leave your guesses and ideas in the comments section below.